Anytime we see you, where you go, you come. We must tell you, Cabo. Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go, you come. We must tell you, Cabo.
We ask you, Mama, what do you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, Mama, what do you bring for we? In the morning we make you give we now. From where you left here, where you go, Mama, and we dey catch we not get nothing for it. Now that make where we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you, Cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go, you come. We must tell you, Cabo.
We dey ask you, Mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, Mama, wetin you bring for we? In the morning we make you give we now. From where you left here, where you go, Mama, and we dey catch we not get nothing for it. Now that make where we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you, Cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go, you come. We must tell you, Cabo. Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go, you come. We must tell you, Cabo.
We dey ask you, Mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, Mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we. For where you left here, where you go, Mama, and we dey catch we not get nothing for it. Now that make where we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you, Cabo. don't glad if we tell you cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you can. We must tell you Cabo.
We dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? In the morning we make you give we now. From where you left here, where you go, mama, angry dey catch we no get nothing for it. Na that make where we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you come. We must tell you Cabo. Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you come. We must tell you Cabo.
We dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we. But where you left here, where you go, mama, angry dey catch we no get nothing for it. Na that make where we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you cabo.
Cabo,
Okay, Pambulda, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you day. We don't come back today. And today, we are going to discuss with a guest where I get. And I know say, we all sabi this man. We don't hear him, we don't see him several times. He is not a new kid in the block. He is somebody well known to everybody who there on social media. We have the late Baga Soso, Stamina man with us here today, the great Imran Toure. Dakeboa, Kauyena. Unmute yourself, my friend. Bua dake Kauyena.
Ake kaengoma na kwebia vise kaka. Baba bikawi.
Kaengoma. Today we can talk a little bit on certain issues where I believe say we need for the address now we country. And I hope say this will be the beginning of a number of programs who go to discuss the issues here. We country don't go bad. Now a failed state, down there and everybody know. Every day we see different things, big shop, box up, they happen in our country. And just today again, we see notice from the American government through the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, we say, and they can't give visa restrictions on people them way not they work with democratic processes. We get this problem as alone. And we not look at the root of the problem. We look at the actors of the problem. Now I make have been talk to this my brother, then there's how took in the engage, but people they don't know. If they know you can talk backstage, whether it's you in that streets, then go run, not to show him run.
Well, Daddy, I am just privileged to get access to a person like you, man, we very talented. You know, a powerhouse, very resourceful. I have seen people we get a broad spectrum, broad horizon in issues of many folds. I admire you. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, now not beat the gun it, but now not beat the gun it. Now tell the family I do first.
Well, if I tell the family I do, this is not part of the process because I want to say for enjoy what I don't enjoy knowing this man with it before me.
We calm, we get for calm and we go make them consistent because now a duty to God and country. For we will believe in religion, I believe say all the religion then they tell we say go in search of knowledge. Go in search of knowledge, then everything go right for you. But in Sierra Leone, as I don't see, we're not going in search of knowledge, we're going in search of titles. Yeah. Now I make now everybody get title attached to a name. Uda na engineer, they put ing. Uda want to put doctor. Uda want to put ambassador. All of that's not really the issue. The issue is why are things going wrong with all these titles? Now that make us say, look, can today, look, can knock with small. Let we see, because now one thing they with me and you get very similar. If you feel say I get broad knowledge past you, maybe you not see the side of your knowledge base. Your knowledge base come up from the fact that you grow up in a multicultural background by the type of job where your parents them in they do. You may not be efficient in everything, but you know my way understand every side of Sierra Leone. Now I make as a matter of fact, you understand most of the languages. And because of that background, the thing what they can discuss today, they affect you. The issue of hate, the issue of mistrust of people, the issue of ignorance. Then three things here. Now the thing that they affect with society, but what we don't know. You can still have a PhD. You can still go to the highest university in the world, but you still suffer from them three things here. And if you suffer from them, you know, aware say they suffer from them things here. The tendency they say, any side and put you say, do this job, the first thing where they grip you na fear. Fear is the biggest enemy in Sierra Leone. Now fear they make the one they offer be leaders, they misbehave because then they misbehave and we have to begin to tell them that. If you get confidence in yourself, you get confidence in the people the way they lead. Certain things they would be in a salo, you know, go do them. In this part of the world, all day, now England, the prime minister, they work by foot, not it's not so. You know why? Because he's not afraid. He's not controlled by fear. In Norway, the prime minister, they can a supermarket, it him up in a line. First they say, no, go before, boy, you know the power, go before. They make her laugh, you understand? Because he's not afraid. But in Africa, the moment somebody be minister or public official, he get 20 thugs around them, he get this, he get that. So he's controlled by fear, and because we are controlled by fear, then three things here where they can discuss so. Now then they manifest, now then they take over with societies. Then. But now no, make this thing too much of book talk. Now Yeri, your own side. Give me your own side, how you see them three issues here, Mr. Ture.
My dearest brother, you know, it can always amaze me why you able to understand what make we country broke down. Also, we country broke down. And how we were able to look at them in there and try to fix them. You know, the reason we make them three things there don't turn to crowupa with people them. And the thing called attitude. People are not they use the marbles where God give them. They enjoy for be ignorant. Because even the word ignorance, when people in the use in Sierra Leone, they don't seem for know the meaning.
At all.
Because as
I
you
even be saying a cost, then they cost
yes,
you.
now cost and they cost
Not
them.
to cost. Me and you, when they talk to a lot of things, they were we ignorant of.
Exactly. Everybody gets a level of ignorance.
Yes.
Everybody
yes.
has.
You cannot know everything.
You cannot.
The only existence where maybe no ignorance na God, because he is all knowing.
But the problem what we get in Sierra Leone, we get ignorance there. We're not even aware say they're ignorant. That is one class of ignorance. Then you get other ignorant people there where not so they're ignorant, but they refuse to accept their limitations. That's another type of ignorance. Where person the team up, they talk about something where you don't understand, you don't get a clue about. My brother, when you look at the life, why you feel to say people are with the humanities, economics, then teach you division of labor. Now for that we specialize. Now that make the world war with it. Some man a carpenter, some man a masoner.
Yeah.
That man when a masoner, he is educated in masonry.
Exactly.
In masonry, he's not ignorant. But you, the medical doctor, would well be ignorant in masonry.
Why not?
Because
the man say ignorant in medicine.
Yes. Because some man can say, as they say, naturally, one thing what they get so wrong, as they say, that man illiterate. They're illiterate and they're ignorant. No.
But
because
again,
when
on the question of illiteracy,
yes.
Do we really have illiterates in Sierra Leone?
Me brother, we might, but me the problem when we get to start with now the people that when we do the original statistics for tell we the level of illiteracy, the statistics will get to be wrong because
no. I want to get this thing clear because that's again a part of the ignorance we get.
Yes.
Illiteracy, now the inability of somebody for speak a language.
Speak, read, and write. Yes.
Now in illiteracy. And English, when our official language, not a pointer to education.
Nope.
A man can learn Pythagoras' theorem in Temene or Mende.
Mende.
Because the Chinese are teaching the same Pythagoras in Mandarin.
Precisely.
The Indians are teaching the same Pythagoras plus in Hindu and Urdu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see, with a begin look at the ignorance we get now in society now. And part of the ignorance, they make we get a falsehood about who that we be, we will not be. It don't mean say when you go English school, that man will not go English school now illiterate. What if the man go Arabic school?
Arabic school, the Arabic scholar. He done
What if the man gets a PhD in Arabic education?
Yes.
In the
He
same
cannot
area
read.
where he said gets the PhD. Let's say the man a medical doctor in Arabic education.
He cannot read and write English,
Yes.
but he reads and writes Arabic.
Exactly.
And illiteracy not say it is restricted to English language.
No.
If it is
Education is not the English language.
Yes, if it is restricted to English language, then the Chinese are all illiterate. The French are all illiterate.
Exactly.
The Indians are illiterate.
Now this level, I want to look at this issue. You count the correct example or the correct illustration.
Mm-hmm.
We get a habit for tell people that Nasalo say they are illiterate. But do we really have illiterates in Sierra Leone? Maybe we have formal educated and non-formal educated.
Yes. You're right.
So if we go and begin classify people, say this literate, this illiterate, now part of the ignorance where they hold way back.
And part of the colonial mentality.
The colonized mentality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if that man a carpenter, let we say he learn carpentry the local way, then teach him in a Mami language. He sabi him in a master panam. If another talk you English language, does that mean he's not educated?
Mm-mm. Far from that.
The man is educated.
He is.
Because in countries that are serious about industrialization, now then people will land and trade then they, now then they put premium pa. In Norway where I live, a carpenter takes home $5,000 a month. A PhD holder in Sierra Leone, now they take that money they from the university.
Well, you know why?
Because we get it wrong.
Mentality. As they can say, your perception, it affects your thinking.
And what makes the perception? Now your level of exposure.
Exactly.
When you improve on your level of exposure, you then minimize the level of ignorance.
Exactly. I mean, they talk to somebody the other day, they tell them, wait, we talk about this subject here. Now I tell them, I said, do you realize you get different types of education? You have intellectual education, you get moral education, you get social education. Social education, in fact, to me, are the most powerful education. Why?
It's the education that takes place all the time.
Yes, now that sense of man and call, they say treats na university.
Yes, they are
when
correct.
You are out there interacting with other people, you come across people. I mean, remember, I am a trained qualified chef. I'm a gourmet chef. I can cook anything.
Mm.
When I first came to this country, I started from there. Go college, do me catering, finish 70612. I specialize in gourmet cooking. I become sauce specialist. I meet one pa, Arab pa. You know, if I go school of cooking, you know, I think, in fact, you know, I be read and write English, Arabic, he write. He was the most innovative chef I don't ever meet in my life.
Yeah.
Everything what you learn at textbook, it gets a better way for doing. Way more cost effective, where they give the product more as artistic genuineness and texture. Then I ask myself, I say, wait, why this man so sabi that I begin to check? Do you realize the gourmet cooking would have changed gourmet cooking at the world, at the Arabs, the Ottoman Empire, where they come to Europe?
Yeah.
Almost everything gourmet where the Frenchman they do now, the Arab man teach them.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
All the spices are from Asia.
Now from Asia or the Middle East or
But
Mediterranean.
when they write the book now the Eurocentric parts, then they talk about, they're not they talk again, but the Asia.
No, but Daniel, we go do them at another program because there is so much about this Western education we come up from the Middle East and Africa, where people don't know. Like this part of mathematics where then they say algebra. It started in Egypt, algebra.
Yes.
Using letters to count. That was done by a professor called Mohammed Al-Kowitsmi, an Iranian professor. We will talk about that at another level or another day.
And you can look at the word again, ignorance. Ignore.
It's from the Middle East.
Now when you ignore knowledge, you look, because some man they see the knowledge, you know one time, you're not interested. And if you don't want to be ignorant, you can forget an attitude where you prepare for suck information like sponge.
Exactly. And that attitude is what we lack in Sierra Leone. Honestly, almost people, they read newspapers in Sierra Leone, ordinary newspaper. Even social media. One of the things where I find out is that a lot of people are on social media, but most of them don't have time to read. Now I make audios very popular with social media.
I am personally guilty of that. Because we can't talk about anything, honestly.
Well, yes, audio is a modern way of keeping knowledge, transmitting information, transmitting data, etc. But how effective is the audio?
Talking
how
about
effective is the video?
Talking about that, my brother.
Yes.
Do you know almost Sierra Leonean and don't pull equipment and when they buy in a shop because they don't get the time for read the instructions? Then come, then plug her in, then begin to do trial and error. Then the team pull, na Chinese product. Well, but the same Chinese product that you all over the world.
And you miss are guilty, huh?
Just because of that ignorance, that laziness. Because for me, ignorance is part of laziness. Get off your phone.
A recent example. I changed the cooker, but little did I read the instructions for realizing na induction cooker I buy, and therefore not all kind potty they use.
They use, yes.
So when I don't fit the thing, I mean just a fitter because a simple thing for fit. Now plug and play. I put one pot, I see the thing they give me. I said, I don't go back.
Not to the right spot.
I put another and I see it work. Because I get certain base them of certain pots the way they work with. Now I say, something wrong. I need to find out. So I went straight away to the instruction book and started reading. That was when I realized that now induction cooker I buy, not to the ordinary one. You understand? This is common, but the fact is, anything connected with you, your environment, your safety, your welfare, now you divine moral and ethical duty, forget all the knowledge we need. But do we do that in Sierra Leone? What is the essence of education to us in Sierra Leone?
Status. For part in a doctor, because we get a lot of engineers them. In theory, they are bloody good engineers. But did they do the practice? They never did any practice, because what you done for study as an engineer, You have to be an apprentice for many years.
Yes,
For
yes,
apply
yes.
what you don't learn
Minimum 3
theoretically to
years.
practice. That's what happens here.
Minimum 3 years globally.
Yes.
Just like
But we on the go college.
every profession.
Mhm.
Law, you get a minimum period way for the thing they call pupillage.
Yes.
The teacher, if you look first in the structure of how they give promotion by the teaching profession as alone, when things were structured. When you enter as a teacher, you don't get any promotion until 3 years. Because within that 3 years, and they consider you as pupil teacher.
Pupil teacher.
And you're there on probation.
And somebody they shadow you.
Yes. You get a senior teacher when head of your department, where they monitor everything way they do. You notes of lessons, how they mark papers, etc. That was when things were normal, not to now. Okay? You go for medicine, now the same thing. Then get a period for doing and called housemanship. Where it is day under a senior doctor or the supervisor. Nursing are the same. Engineer are the same. But we don't lose all that thing and day because we don't lose the essence of education. And how did we lose the essence of education? Now, through ignorance. We allow ignorance for take over our society.
And the other reason we make we turn so come back to colonization. Because the colonial master, the way they go, most of them guide them they. Now guide them way, now be ex-military men them. Them mostly connected to the royal family. Then get some waiting. So when they go now we place, they are there with this mentality. I am superior to the black man, then do the dirty job. So we they only do blue collar job.
Yeah.
So what did not happen? We do the brown collar jobs, then they do the blue collar jobs. So what did not happen now? It don't become a pattern of behavior. So the Solomon way land book now don't feel to say where you land book, you not blue collar job you they do. So if you're not engineer, the theory part of your engineering, now him you for focus on, and the other side when are the practice where you need both for be proper qualified engineer, you don't need to do it. So the engineer not they ever wear helmets, you know they ever wear boots, you know they go on site.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And I believe so not to only Sierra Leone this the affect.
Mm-hmm.
I think now a kind of psychological disease
Mm-hmm.
where they throughout Anglophone Africa. Okay?
Yes.
You the boss, the head. Now you for be the example where others they follow. If you want a job to be well done, you for always the hands-on on the job. Are you with us, Mr.
Yes, I
Kiwe?
listen, I hear.
You put off your video, that's why I'm asking.
1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You say you're not engineer. When you not do any job, whether not construction, whether not installation or whatever, if you the boss not did it for do the job with the people, they will do a bad job. That's definite. They will do a bad job.
Because the man where they do the job now, a craftsman.
Not all that's no more. The fact that you not did it, in order to create the ethical foundation for efficiency.
Yes, that's not one.
When
Then the
if
other
being a
aspect-
boss, I did it, I they work with the workman. That man they under me, they look at the boss, they work me say la work ba. I don't
It
create
change,
the ethical
it change the
foundation.
whole work ethics.
Yes.
It change that. Then the
Yes.
other aspect as well, when you're not the engineer, you're able to draw the plan. You're able to understand the plan. You know how to interpret the plan and apply them. And you get the craftsman where he specialized for the craft aspect past you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you sabi pass them, but he sabi because that is his domain. So if you now collaborate together, you find out for say what
You
you
they
want
learn from her, in the land
in
from
the
you.
land from you. So
in
you
the
know,
end, on all they become very efficient.
exactly.
But when you ignorance make you feel say, because you're not the boss, you for cack na chair, you give instruction, then you don't expect efficiency.
Precisely.
Because in the area of industry, there are no bosses, there are supervisors.
Yep.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to this ignorance thing, you see how it affects we, not so?
Yep.
We don't give you an example in the area of education, in the area of work. Another thing back where they make ignorance, they hold we back, is that we don't create a false sense of superiority and inferiority in society.
Yeah. Very much so. Very good
People
point.
who may be very talented in certain skills, would they make them feel say they're not worth anything?
Nope.
So we're not they get the best out of them.
I can give you an example. When I was trained as a nurse, the work in the ward, then junior doctor there, their experiences start them. Then get more knowledge past them. Some of the things that what they do, practically, and the nurse, they help them.
Exactly.
The nurse and they help them, then they can ask the nurse tell them, that's the procedure the way you do. You get limitation there, call the doctor. You're not doing it right. Because it don't did it.
It don't see them over and over.
Over and over and
then
over and
sometimes
over.
Say don't do them because the
Exactly.
doctor don't trust and say do this.
Exactly. And he know the rationale of what he need to do. He not just they do them, he know how for do a right.
Yeah.
So if he see you they struggle, then they tell you, can we call the house officer or can we call the consultant? Because
many heads make light work.
Exactly. But even when engineer then draw, then call the craftsman. Sometimes the craftsman they look the drawing because he don't see so many drawings. He don't do so many buildings. And they tell the young engineer, say, bruh, this year I not feel say we will make a move. It not go work. You get for make some changes now.
He go take and say na insult the man.
Now insult him. But that man, he don't do this work for so many years. He don't work with so many engineers. If they look diagram where they work,
yeah,
he may not be able to explain it. They go look at me, tell you for say, this one there is something not right with this diagram here. We need for take a look and with him. Now that's make a good engineer. If they call a team, if they sit with them, he talk with them, say that this is the plan. How we must
but even in any profession,
yes,
in any profession, teamwork is what produces efficient results. But the attitude we don't create necessarily out of this false superiority and inferiority syndrome is that man we don't go university, we don't get that paper. Now him for talk other man listen.
Yeah, because
they forget say the other man then we can meet at the place. So they don't get the donkey years. They don't get a lot of practical knowledge where that man they not get.
Mm-hmm.
Even in politics. Now this we don't destroy with political system. In Sierra Leone today, the politicians are the ones who think and act. But we have a civil service. You get an administrative wing, you get a professional wing, then you get a financial wing in every ministry. But we have made all these people redundant. Maybe the financial wing not redundant because then they connive for thief the money. But when it comes on technical issues, honestly, is our technical wing of our government working?
No, no, no. And not they work at all, because we can see, and I can give you many instances, I don't want to call names. We see how the system they work. Even when you look at the military, you get Air Force, you get infantry, you get Navy, you get medics, you get engineers. Whole infanteries, when I engineer them, they specialize. And for work in a system, just like we body, every organ gets a role where they play.
Yeah.
So what's in there happen now with country? Can you just imagine? Minister of Transport one by motoka, then get engineer and a Minister of Transport where sabibo engines. We know how engine they work. When they want to go purchase vehicles, now the minister they go buy will not get any inclination.
If they
how
go
to buy
face a
motorcar.
contractor,
Mhm.
where if he say go get and kick back.
Yes.
Sometimes
You
that
not get a clue.
contractor not sabi nothing but vehicle.
Exactly.
You they go give man contract for make road, you know sabi nothing but even technical drawing.
But my brother, we get some doctors in Sierra Leone, they don't qualify from where we na baby. From where they qualify, today they not go update their qualification. That same now,
No,
yeah,
not only doctor they talk about
I know. I just
the
throw
way
nowadays.
of service provision
Mhm.
and how they give out contracts to people.
Yes.
All that they show how ignorant we are.
Ignorant, yep. But
Yes,
the fact,
I may want to have a contract given to me, but do I have the qualification for that contract? If I don't, do I go to employ somebody with the qualification and get him to work with me?
like for instance, this guy, sorry, where I call somebody name, Gentle. What's in that the qualification where he gets for being a contractor?
Well, why should I ask him?
You know?
Yeah,
You know, because
ask?
Sierra Leone, anybody can be a contractor. You don't have to have any formal training.
No, you get forget one thing. Just be connected.
That's it, Sababu.
That's your PhD.
That's Sababu thing. They don't cause so much destruction in our country. Sababu. Because now every
It
society
cause destruction because of ignorance.
even
In
Unana
psychology, then get what they call self-sabotage.
yes.
We are self-sabotaging ourselves in Sierra Leone. All the actions here with they formalize and use now the country. Now they make we country they in abject poverty. Between
brother,
me and you, Imran, I swear to God, if we behave the way we for behave in Sierra Leone and do things out for Duam, those people who want money out of politics will get 10 times what they are getting now.
Yep. My brother, to
The
start with,
potentials are there. But
now,
out of
country
ignorance,
where
they do everything wrongly because we feel say, if I not do this, when 10 come, then pull me now, I go suffer. We come back to how we start.
come back with
The fear factor.
now Norway, England, America, everywhere in the world, they get society of engineers.
Yes.
They get engineering board. Now then people and they liaise with the government for making legislations the way you need for them able to control that industry.
If then they give anybody contract safe, that institution then they consult them for verify say this
for
person
verify
get the
the
capacity.
veracity of this particular person in qualification, in knowledge base, and the company, you know, if footprint and a profile. But in Sierra Leone, everybody can come out, it take a briefcase, they pass up on an Africa, he's saying a doctor, as a man of village, now will be house boy, will be small. My mama, they gonna market one day, that day is here, now they break. I said, I'm not gonna call the man in name. He said, what's happened? He said, oh my man, now this worker they do. Now I say, who's work? Then the man say, in a drugist. Then my mama said, he said, how comes? He said, what pay? Kuro kono take me urkengi. He said a dreaming.
I know.
You know, you cannot believe this. That man be they get more patients than na a clinic past the government approved dispenser. When the Papa said
I
people,
used to know one or two of similar people in Conakry, Guinea,
yes.
and they are Sierra Leoneans.
You know, that man they kill not to common people in Arukupo. When people they go to Rami, Papa they send a family member them for let them go to the dispenser. Ah, Sukwedi. Ah, Obaitol. That means to say we not a good, you not get medicine.
You not get medicine.
You know why?
They
say, Isma. Papa go, sorry, what call the man in name? They say, the other man, that the man will not qualify. In medicine, where it work on body, they feel and pee. It kind side with strong pain. For them, that pain where they inflict on them, because the needle, not an intravenous needle, a subcut needle, they mix up the needle.
Yeah.
In order to sterilize them. So the pain then see them as the quality of the medication.
Because we don't teach people then fear.
Yes.
Fear, they make people then see pain as a way of existing.
Yes.
Then they accept them. You see, when they go round and round on the same thing, fear, they breed hate. They breed mistrust. Then they breed ignorance. A lot of people, they refuse for expand on the knowledge out of fear. I know to me area where I for go read about that. Not your area.
But the problem is,
not your area. Read anything, understand that your
that's
way.
why God gave us free will.
Yes.
The will to explore.
Yes.
If you don't explore, how do you know the difference?
And the more you know the difference, the more comfortable life be for you. The more comfortable it be, because you they get knowledge for know, waiting for do and waiting not for do. How for do am, how not for do am.
Well, that's the reason why in the Bible where all man they quote, you know, almost time the word where you just use, so the phrase where you just use, so fear not, Dede. Fear not is in the Bible for 365 times. Now the Bible, fear not. If you look at how many days we get in a year, now 365 days. So that's me to say, God don't tell we in the Bible once every day. Now, you know, once every day, fear not.
No, but it's good if you tell yourself that every day.
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning, fear not this day. Explore, adventure.
If you get a habit for being an explorer, this is why the white man beat us.
They take control the world.
Go to a place where you don't know, you go suffer the consequences.
It's when they die there, they're not care, then they come back.
But for we now, we go there at this village. Somebody don't, like we get one side now, we song, where they say nobody not for go there. If you go there, they die, devil did it. Nobody not take the time for no why. But with man and they can't swim, they don't die.
So the devil is very partial, you know, they kill with man.
Well, we African man not they learn for swim. But then there is a very strong undercurrent today. You're not sabi for maneuver down undercurrent today. You know, and anything what we don't know, what we don't understand,
we don't afraid.
No. The other thing where now cultural, we put fetish there.
Now, the fetish now a manifestation of fear.
Yes.
Anything black man don't know, where he don't afraid for adventure into, it mystify him. Where they make her into mystic. Because we have the justification channel say, we afraid something, you they live long. And we are the same people praying 10 times a day, wanting to go to heaven.
But I cannot believe this day and age. Nah, WhatsApp forum them, person they send something, say, this person don't dream. He said this message here, if you not send them, you they die. People they send them fast.
It's fear. It's the fear factor.
People they send them, when I can just delete them fast. They say somebody if he does not refuse for send them, he don't die. And people know this.
Now we come to practical terms. When they talk about fear as the factor where they instigate hate. Because anybody who hate, a person will not take time for study. And what it make you not take time for study somebody now because you fear them. You understand? If you not fear them, you they take time for study them, even if the person they do something where they offend you, but because you don't study the person, you don't know them, you they get room for accommodate and say, but now they na so it and all left and so now I this so that's so it is. You understand?
Because
but when you
know
not take
somebody,
time, yes, I go ahead.
When you know somebody, they feel threatened by the person. And you just don't talk through. Say when you feel threatened, all the alarm lights they come on, pim, 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 pim.
And at that they breed hate.
Yes. Me brother, like how they talk.
So now come to we country on a practical term. Now we look at Sierra Leone, my brother. You are a Toure. I am a Jalo. We get surnames in Sierra Leone: Kamara, Koroma, Tarawali, Soare, Fofana, Conte, Bangura. And then them say I defend them all over the country. But because today, different people, they talk different languages, the fear of trying to study ourselves and understand ourselves, look whose side we go.
There is something where we talk some time ago.
The politics or they practice na salon, not to politics, na fear. And so cowards will get power politics. Now I made them they preach tribalism and regionalism.
Well, now the Westman legacy.
No, not to the Westman. I don't go agree. What you make another grip on the Westman?
Yeah.
The Westman we don't go try for divide we.
For rule we.
For their own benefit. If they don't go over 60 years, we're not able to sit there and look sebo. That Jalo them born na coindu. With me on Jalo na the same DNA. That Toure with them born na Kenema. With me on Toure na the same DNA. That Tarawali we born na Kokoima. With me on Tarawali from Cambia na the same DNA. That Soare from Pujon. With me on Soare from Cambia or maybe Magazine Courts na the same DNA. Do you blame the white man for that? You blame the ignorance.
Yeah, ignorance, they play very, very important role. But you see, this thing here, it is deep. It is really deep. I'm glad you already talk about them. You able to visualize these issues here because you don't go to school, you don't learn, you don't reach to a level by you educational thinking that you are critical in your thinking and your thoughts. You able to look at things, you separate emotions out of it.
Exactly.
We people, we brother them we go school, even when do postgraduate course, they're still very emotional. We politicians,
because they are controlled by fear.
Yes,
fear most of we brother them. Emotion.
Yes, most of we brother them. They are emotionally immature. They are not mature.
Exactly.
They are not mature. And if you look at things that when they talk, like for instance, if APC win and they can't kill them in the them, this they can't kill them.
Why them for kill them?
People are not able to ask, but why?
Why? Why should Samura Kamara become president with a Mende wife and kill Mendes.
And kill Mende people away picking and a half Mende. You know, the most vicious animal in the world, what they call
We dey
lion.
allow fear for make we preach ignorance.
The most vicious animal in the world, the lion. The brother lion not the eat pikin. Lion not the eat pikin.
Alec would say, okay, Alec will not marry to Mende them. But the fact that we don't grow up with people that were not Mende speakers. We get friends with not Mende speakers. Whose insanity go make a hate Mende man?
Now because of the one whole thing where we don't find the recipe for what we call ignorance and fear. Because
the ignorance, now one thing they propel them.
yes.
You know what thing they propel them? Now another level of fear will get in a salon.
Yeah, yes.
You know what now the other level of fear will get in a salon? We educational system is so dysfunctional that when man don't get PhD, if he'll say, if he don't streamline himself in a job, if he loses that job, that's the end of the world. Now, out of self-protection, the fear of losing, now they make people and they play sycophant.
The man, a good point you bring. So I mean, they talked to somebody the other day. We they talk about the issues them, like what we they talk so, and you just don't bring that point to the come. This fear. One of the things where they bring fear, the limited resources where they.
Well, it's not limited resources. It's limited perception, I would say.
Yeah, perception, they will, limited. Then you find
resources are never limited. We limit them by the way we think.
By the way we think. I get that argument there, but waiting when they talk about right now, right now, we get a very poor environment because we not don't use the resources how we use them. So the resources were available. We plenty for small resources.
Well, maybe we plenty for small cash.
Yes. So
and cash is not the only resource we have.
The animal instincts they come on, get rid of, like for instance, how the cheetah, the lion, they kill the cheetah because you know let them compete for the small animal in vicinity. You know, that is another aspect because I mean
wait, hold it there, hold it there. What's it make we different with the animal than they? The animal in perception of ability for survival limited to what's in physical. Me and you, we supposed to be able to think beyond the physical.
Yeah, because you get critical thinking, critical thoughts.
Every human being gets them.
Well, if you're not me man, if you get an app now, you fall.
If you allow fear for control, you'll never be able to use your critical side.
Me brother, if you get app now, your phone, for the app become productive, you get to activate them.
Yes.
If you not activate them, it is as good as
we are saying the same thing. Every human being get the same level of intelligence. Except if the person gets a damaged brain.
All the time when I go to Morimani tell them for saying that you black brother, now you problem. Now for
because those people, then they thrive on preaching fear.
Exactly.
Just like how I can say this, but certain people can feel say, na nonsense are they talk. But I understand and so deep that I say it with all amount of confidence, and I don't care what people think. These things we call religion in Africa, they are very correct to guide us ethically, but we are taught to us wrongly.
Yeah.
Then teach we for control with minds.
Like make a Marx
created an image of a God when one bad old man they wait for go do we bad.
Karl Marx make it easy for we. He say religion na the opioids of the poor. It give them temporal feeling where he say I left me case God. something where you for fix, you not fix them. You do nothing, don't expect
But you have
anything.
the power of God in you. Why don't
Exactly.
you fix it?
God don't give you free will. He don't give you autonomy.
No,
So
let
they
me
in
free
charge
will.
of
Let
you
me
your
free
life.
will. Let we go
Then
now
you
to
take
the
you right where
religious
God give you
scriptures
back.
them.
You give
Let
it
we
for
go.
say,
Let me
and
go
let
to
me
the religious scriptures, Imran. The very religious scriptures, them old people and they use na salon, they are clear about we relationship and position with God.
Mhm.
The Quran tell we say, God make we from clay, he breathe part of himself into we. Doesn't that tell you we have the power of God in us?
Yes.
The Bible tell you say, God say, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Doesn't that tell you we have the power of God in us?
Yes.
What's in the old way back? Now the
And
fear,
it's
where
the
they don't
same,
put in our way.
the same God tell we say, seek
And you
shall
shall
find.
receive,
Ask,
and you shall be
receive.
given,
Knock, the door shall
and
be
the
open.
doors
to
will
you.
open. It is all the scriptures them.
So, you know, now we the limit we save. Because
Because they
man,
don't use fear for control. We let not
most
forget
man
that
are
word
two
fear.
things
F-E-A-R.
you get for expand yourself. Then even when you don't expand yourself, when you're in any position, like for instance, if you ask me a question right now, we are not prepared for talk about, I will tell you, say, I'm not sure because I know my limitation. Let me go think. Let me go check it. Let me go check it. Because one we old teacher will teach me, God bless him, Usai did by SD Kamara. One day they ask we in a class, he say, Uda go give him the definition of a clever student. So man grab saying that somebody will memorize. Some saying that somebody will get retentive memory. So man saying that somebody waking memorize the whole book and regurgitate them word for word. Now in the past say, all of you are correct, but not very correct. Now they say, una try more. We did the whole day. The part that was our first day now we form teacher. The whole day keep in a class. You know, say we're not able to get the answer, and the answer was so simple. He said a clever student, now a student will know inside the information they go find them and use them.
Exactly.
But let him make use of waiting that information they give him.
But in that part they tell una so, or what he been tell una so, now something then they teach you when you do teacher education.
Okay.
Then they tell you about the methods of teaching. And then they warn you against the continuous use of one of them. One of them, now they don't use Pawina Salo, make take the education able benefit we. That what they call inductive learning. What in argue, now forgive me back, the Arabic method.
You regurgitate them,
Yes.
That's it. But do you understand it? That's
the
something.
Deductive learning. Now that you teacher they been they talk about. Provide the foundation, provide the concept, let the student understand them in your way, let you use them in your way. And this is what the very religion the way they practice tell we. I made them say we get free will. Free will, it ain't all the religious books. Them.
Brother, what good is it to you? You go university, you go college, you learn. You're not able to put what you learn into use. Will benefit yourself and your environment where you did.
And then you not sabi nothing.
Now that make them say, where you go school, what you learn. Now one thing. What you understand from what you learn.
Now it make you educated.
What you do with what you learn is something entirely different. So you get three aspects. You get the information, you learn them, you understand them, you bring and come. You practice them. And why you go able to practice them better? Because you're able to understand for that you do something entirely different. So going to be useful to you and everybody.
we go fulfill what in the religious scriptures then say. When then God will make mortal man, he put life on him according to the Islamic version. He said, let the angels then bow to mankind. One of them, when they say na Satan, he say not they bow, he say because God don't make until they can destroy the world. Now I say, I know better. Why did God say that? He gave us the ability to create. Then he gave us free will. Whatever you create can be put into good or bad use. It depends on the free will with which you created it. The same thing there back in the Bible. Where they say, God say, let us make man in our image and likeness, so that he will take dominion over the earth. What's that dominion? Create and improve the world. You have the free will. If you want to make them bad way, the consequence can you suffer them. If you want to make them good way, the consequence can you enjoy them. These are the simple things that we will not understand, because fear don't overtake our ability for reason and see how simple it is for us to understand why we should do things on earth.
Well, my brother, what you talk now, yeah, just don't wake me thoughts. Where God make we were pure until
we always pure.
We indoctrinate ourselves
with fear.
With hate. Hate now they bring the fear. Because you see, hate.
No, listen, wait. When you create fear, you institute fear, and nothing they bring. Imran, they suspect boy, they suspect Imran. Then hate comes into the matrix.
And you not say hate, it is taught. Nobody is born with hatred.
No.
This hate
joy,
here,
now you the create them.
Because when they grow up, somebody they tell you for say a black man is bad, black man is inferior.
What you believe I done?
Yes. Then you create a belief system around that stereotype where they don't paint for you. That's what you need in town. That's what many people in town.
It done. You don't institute the hate.
Yes. You know, so
if
the hate way
that mende people and are fine people, mende woman them fine.
Yes.
The joy of meeting them, they make you like them.
Yes.
Not just so?
Yes.
Now we they create everything inside.
Now it's here. And the bad people amongst we, where most of the bad people are not going to politics. That is what they are capitalizing.
Don't say the bad people. Don't say the bad people. I'll put on straight.
Okay.
I have said it, and I will say it anytime, anywhere. One of the role of having knowledge, of becoming an intellectual, now for make you know some of them what they discuss, then you for be a guide to society.
Yeah.
One way you can use knowledge now for guide society. Not for pull money, give people they help people.
You know, they
and say,
by giving them.
Instead of you give fish to people, teach them to fish.
To fish.
Not so? But the very class of people who for do that job in a salon, now they now don't turn, they preach hate. Why are they preaching hate? They are afraid of themselves. The fear of failure.
And the other thing where you don't
listen to this, the fear of failure. I don't be head of state. If I sit down and pull me now, I go suffer.
And if I come on here, I have nothing else that I can do and do good or do well.
Exactly. That fear of failure. I don't lead with country to that.
And if I bring people and West Abi past me, I go turn like Bengbelam who say 100 watt bulb day. And people then go clearly see that.
It don't matter.
So
You
I
are
know
the
one.
most clever man on earth. You are only the most liked person. What they say, lead. Lead no mean say now you are the most clever. It means say now you then give the mandate say take all the sense man and full man them. They are lucky and better one and put them together, but let's see how they go work.
I give one puzzle now.
Mm-hmm.
Where you go for go buy bulb?
Mm-hmm.
How then they sell them? Not to buy what?
How by what?
Well, the one when 100 watts, you go the bluff say, I mean 100 watts, or you know 50 watts are bright past you. This is the way how they behave now with community.
Because we have fear.
Then you get the other one where they talk say, me not bright past me better, me not 80 watts. I just didn't near you. That is I mean 90. All day would they spend with time they do that. But at the end of the day, when they reach the retirement age, that is when the wattage don't dwindle, the wattage don't count to zero. Does it matter which one will be 100 watts? Then none of the work again.
Then they
Then
put
none of
you
the light
inside the
again.
box and go a beauty.
Exactly. The honest way they see 100 watts up at the box, but you put out, then none of the key lights. They all don't fuse.
Then they put you inside the box and go a beauty.
and
Then they put you in a box.
quite
If
enough
they're not
of
going
the
to
brother
put
will
you in a
learn
box, they wrap you, they
Yes.
go a beauty.
Now, these most of the brother that will learn book not able to understand how
It's not that they
society-
don't. I wonder you get this point clear.
Yeah.
It's not that the educated class not understand. They understand, but they are controlled by fear. The fear
Yes.
of failure. Me
But
a
the
medical
essence-
doctor. I don't reach this level. I don't able get motor car. I get a house where I don't build. If I can't lose my job, I will lose all them tier. You don't lose everything if you lose your job.
My
You
brother,
only
there are
lose
some-
everything if you stop thinking.
There are some verses in the Bible where can make me mind open. God was not a fool where he talk for say Adam lonely. Lonely not mean you alone.
No.
You can be alone and not be lonely
You can
These
deal
are all
with a
things-
crowd and you are still lonely.
and still be lonely. These are all things you need to know. But God used the word, you lonely, you need somebody, because God designed we for how we interact with one another.
We are social animals.
We are social animals. And we get for live with relationships, not
Exactly.
out of relationships.
And what in they bring this relationship? Now, when we take away fear, we bring trust into the matrix. Then we will be able to live together.
Look at the word family. Who say it come out? When I say family, it comes from the word familiar.
Yeah.
The people that you're most familiar with. The people that they spend more time with, the same space. They know you better than anybody.
Yeah.
Now make them talk for say, farm will fet bad pass outside fet. Because your family know your weaknesses.
They're
Before
able,
you
they're
grow
able to win you. They're able to use
Exactly.
anything for
And
the
they
win.
will make you back.
Yeah.
You know, so you see, them Bible verses there, if you understand them in season, they say, go ye forth and procreate. A lot of people feel to say, now for just go born picking. No,
No.
now for reproduce, for make big farms, for make enterprise.
Yeah.
We are made, God creates we for enlarge. In fact, we whole thing about mortal man.
Not only
the life-
for enlarge the human
It's about
race,
growth.
but enlarge everything about what in the exist around.
exists around us. Because when you look at the world, just ask yourself, look at everything we're natural. Now God make them. Everything we're not natural. Now engineer make them. Now make them
Engineer.
the most better people in engineer. When you look at how
Every
this
human
engineer-
being is an engineer. Do you
Yes.
know that?
Yes.
Do you know that cook you are talking about is an
Yes.
engineer?
Yeah.
That cook wey say no go school.
It build something.
Now engineer. Now engineering need they take prepare food.
Exactly. So, me
Now
brother,
two types of human beings we get in the world. You get the engineer where they create what thing go better or what thing go bring a lucky. Then you get the teacher. The teacher, now they pass the knowledge. Now they announce and broadcast the knowledge. You're not a lawyer, oh. You're not this, so you belong to one of them two professions, then they. A lawyer cannot win a case in court if he is not a teacher.
Powerful. So when
Because
you talk
the
about
teacher uses his knowledge and convince the other man to accept that part of his knowledge. Lawyers go to court and argue cases, not so.
Mm-hmm.
They are subconsciously or sublimely teaching. In the process, their words get accepted. And in certain complex cases, the lawyer therefore use an aspect of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You create the scene
Mm-hmm.
in the minds of the people.
Mm-hmm.
You engineer something where they make the people understand, say, now these logical steps and procedures now lead to this. Then they accept your argument.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, Shakespeare say law environment is circus.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you look at Sierra Leone, what do you see? Then two professions, then how do you see them?
They're not innovative. There's no creativity.
One is being taken as the worst form of existence, teacher. Anybody who's not teacher in Sierra Leone, you are condemned to poverty.
You're condemned to poverty. You know?
You understand? And the lawyer, what's in your role? And how they use innovative thinking, I will create chaos.
Well,
they use chaos to prosper.
Hear this.
And when you tell them that's the vex.
Hear this. You man, hear this.
The world that come on and lucky business.
When I say going forth and procreate, it's about growth.
It's about growth.
And that growth lady facilitates what they call change.
Yes.
You need to talk about this knowledge. When the teacher they teach, that teaching the way they do, it make people then change from what in be, then change to lawyer, then change to doctor. So that procreation, it expand, it enlarge, now growth. It is not static, it is dynamic. Any form of growth, they facilitate change. And what's in the problem? Change is universal. Change is constant.
It's dynamic. It happens all the time. As
all the time.
Maybe we don't begin talk to now. A lot of changes don't take place.
My brother, so
it's a dynamic process. You cannot, you have to work with it. You cannot work against it.
So antibiotics, then they wouldn't be used 20, 30 years ago. They're not effective anymore.
No.
The bacteria,
because the bacteria don't mutate.
They don't mutate. They don't change.
They don't change.
Because anybody where they respond to change, it die out.
Exactly.
Why do you think in biology
life is about adaptation? Growth.
Why would they adapt?
Because they want to continue.
Yes, you get for continuously they review yourself, your habits, your lifestyle, for that you stay alive.
Yeah.
That is the reason why the dodo died out. The dodo.
But we want to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Now so we grandparents be the doing. Now so we granny be the doing. But is it working?
It's not.
Is it cost effective?
If it may work for grandpa, then for that advanced past the weight, man.
Exactly. We have to ask ourselves certain questions. There are certain cultures, them way we get for keep. There are some cultures and the way we get for sit back, look at, review them, and if they're not cost effective, they're not productive, and they're not prudent.
Now let them go.
We left them.
We take something new.
Like for instance, this kind of habit here, left and give God. We don't left give God 60 years after independence. Today we still in a gutter. We not come on a gutter 8. Because some full man they can't tell you for say anybody where you see God make leader. Now where be leader God. If not God be they choose somebody, why would they vote?
So that's safe.
Why
Let's
would they vote?
let me ask a simple question.
Totally.
Is God partial for making they give bad leaders, then other part of the world they get good leaders?
No.
Hmm?
God don't work that way, though.
The religious books they read. Any side they want to say God makes certain people for suffer, the other and then for better.
Nope. God
Any
make
side
we
they
all
want to
out
say
of
God
his
make
image
the
and
other
likeness.
black, the other and white.
God make we all equal.
We are
Now
equal.
make we all breathe in an involuntary action.
Yeah.
Because nobody know they pay for it.
Yeah.
I can just imagine when they go begin to put water, they go begin to put oxygen
Put meter for breathe.
for breathe. We all they die.
Now we're not a rich devil. God not a grip on that. He go,
You know,
he go can now say, hey, boy.
I'm telling you. But you know, quite a lot of things them where we steam for the waiting. Look like somebody where we they grow up and they tell we about how they waiting safe. They say where somebody slapping and forget the other job. They told us that. But I'm not telling you what Jesus is a radical.
Written?
Jesus is a radical. Jesus was never a how you call yourself, a pacifist. No.
But
Jesus
the man
was
go na
never that
temple,
kind of a man.
he go
In
run
fact,
after people and they.
there is a verse.
I say,
Mhm.
that's what the same Bible tell we say we go to that temple, go run after people and they.
Yes. He said, give Caesar what
They
belongs to
take away,
Caesar.
begin beat
You know
them.
they tell
We not
liar.
behave
You know
so
they
not
tell
too
liar.
radical.
Yes, he broke the table and throw away. Then the same Jesus also talks, say, he said, for slain, he said, for slain you enemy them. He did at the book of Luke. He said, for slain you enemies them. What is that? Is it not jihad? Is that
Yeah,
not
but
jihad?
then now we not go into that religious side there. Because I want to let they conclude now.
Okay.
You see, the arguments where we don't build up. If we look at with society, we see clearly why things are not working. The educated class get a fear of failure. The uneducated class then get the fear of not being sufficient. Insufficiency. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I go make like you do an experiment. Go and meet somebody who not ever go school. Try for count on to a level, talk to him at your level. Then get somebody else for meet the same person, like talk to him at a different level. You go see, say you will talk to her at a level, you they see the level of intelligence they come out of the person. You understand?
Uh-huh.
Just like when you come with the point, say, man a social animal, where God be say Adam lonely. We have created a dysfunctional society using fear. We make certain people feel they're not adequate enough. Some people feel say they are over adequate. So loneliness is part of the dysfunction we'll get. We're not a bind.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a bind. We society not a bind. The second thing is, because we want to institute this fear, and a few people think they are profiting from this fear, then they transform them into hate preaching.
Yeah.
And then they preach ethnicity, regionalism, this and that.
But me not,
But they allow
ever
ask one simple question.
I don't go ever believe say all men man bad. I don't go ever
Now
believe say all
ask one
men
simple
bad.
question. From
Yeah.
where you born? Where you don't meet two man, then I treat you the young woman. You never meet two man accent, say you know stripe.
But why don't call it? I want number. I know they ask, but
You don't have to.
Then you know they come, now you know they come, now they
So
fall.
why do we preach tribalism?
Now because
Who
of people
benefit?
now because of people inadequacies. Some
Nothing.
people believe say if they not do that, that's not there in the mix, they're not able to survive. Now
Because
they
they get
exist
the
sense that
fear
they try
of
for protect.
inadequacy in them.
Yes.
They feel safe, I'm not there at this office, I'm not able to survive.
And then they try for light to wheeler, we all be pacifists. Because now when they tell people and say, hey, we get for be proactive. We were in at the West, we do what you need for do. This is just the icing on the cake. But the cake itself is in Sierra Leone. If we don't have a cake, where do we put the icing? If people in Sierra Leone, they don't know they do
Sierra
nothing.
Leone.
September, if they not come on at all, it's up to them. Because at the end of the day, politics is local. The issues are local. The issues are not in England. They are in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, in Sierra Leone.
Everything about politics is local. Me
Yeah.
man, the first one they tell you about now Luke 19:27.
Okay.
Jesus say, and these enemies of mine who were unwilling for me to rule over them, bring them here and slay them in front of me.
What?
But a lot of people, them, hey, Jesus not gonna talk so. Jesus was a human being.
It was a radical.
He get feelings.
You see,
As
as they say, we get a lot of things wrong because we have allowed fear to control us.
For control we. And
that fear they will use now for breed hate. And you know, the funny thing is, we always feel saying that politics no more they breed hate. The worst side of the breed hate na Sierra Leone and religion.
Religion, yeah. Yeah.
Religion, and then we say there is religious tolerance, a lie, you know the. You know to make we feel like we they tolerate ourselves? Huh?
Mm.
Now we attitude of dependency, Rotimbele.
Yeah. Libele and our gods. You know, let me tell you this. I will tell somebody the other day. You know, say the third cause of blindness in Africa, na cataracts. The third cause of blindness in Africa, na cataracts.
Yes.
Can you tell me the other two?
Blindness?
Yes. The third cause of blindness na Africa, na cataracts. Can you tell me the other two?
I don't know, sir.
Now religion and politics. because of religion and politics, people already ask question again. Now you make every bad politician as they make some of them quote Quran, then quote the Bible. As they quote and they know they ask question again.
Yes.
How would you believe say God goes so hate we give him Adaptability? You say now God nine chooser.
Go hate we now before they get bad things and they happen. Is that old man on fear?
Just because we are so content, we know one for make sacrifice to be uneasy for one. Look the Wexman and the explorers them. You know how much explorers died to come to Africa? A lot of them not go back. But during their expeditions, you know what in them bring back when make Europe be what in it be so?
They not only bring physical things, but then bring knowledge. They bring knowledge will profit Europe.
Yes.
That's one thing when not the knowledge where you will profit from. The first set of which man they will begin go Africa, then go meet we with they enslave each other. Hello, left for blame with man for slavery. Now we not the slave masters them.
About family
today will they practice them.
We family they all become slaves.
No left that history. Today will they practice them. Ask me how.
Shoot.
If you have a country which I get 7 million people, a government employ close to 500,000 people. You get less than 10,000 people, they earn living wages. The rest of them, what you they pay them not do for them for last for 1 week.
3/10.
I call that not to slavery.
Not slavery. Not slavery.
Slavery, there are different types.
My brother, the fact say
We are the slave masters. The white man learn from we, they use unto them profit.
my brother, you don't left one side we make we be slave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for choose we lead us in Sierra Leone, we not get that right today.
Now
We
by
do
slave
election.
business, then they
They
beat
like
you
and we-
or vote
they
for
like
other
and
they
we
want.
Me man as Angalewa then give we. They like but we say we get election. Me man, now fake them faker. We not get no damn election. Because if we get elections, therefore because the votes. They're not going to no damn votes.
So
Then
what
just
is that?
choose
Is that
who
not
that
a form of
That's
slavery?
slavery that one day. And you know for Toko, you know for
When you
Toko.
talk, then they go beat you.
But
Or
one
them
of the
find way
reasons
for
we make
kill
them
you.
people like they're able to do that. You know one of the reasons we made them able to do that? Because we are not united. Now then other days now be the watch and the member where we be small with the land the national anthem. We forefathers then we write that in the nothing and say family united, ever we stand.
But we are
now,
family divided.
we are family divided. We are not family united.
At all.
He go further than the other stanza. He say, one with zeal that never tries, that never tires. Ever we seek to honor thy name. Ours is the labor, thine the fame. The man, when you look at all them words there, beautiful words there. The reality is, my brother, then say that will not ever tire. We are the most lazy, tired people that we can think about.
If I tell you something, you go believe.
And they go kill you. Martin Luther said.
If I tell you something, you go believe. How we not understand with national anthem? How we not understand with national pledge? Now so get some of the best laws them will not understand them. Now everybody they are like, oh, now constitution is wrong. No constitution wrong. Now we attitudes wrong.
Now we attitude. And to start with, now we learn for
because
you the one
we
way
got
wrong.
slave master mentality in our head. When they put you state house, you for bully people them, you for use impunity.
Me
And why
brother,
did they not just finish that? Why do they use impunity? One, anybody, the minute you are sent to the office of presidency, don't become a coward. They're all fucking cowards, our leaders. No say that.
Papa, would that wear ashes now? Ashes the fella.
You hear me?
Then
Then they become cowards because the sense of self-preservation, they take over the sense of reasoning. You don't have to be afraid if you are doing the right thing. The people will be your protector if you do what
because when you invest wickedness, you expect say then get for pay you back. So
yes,
constantly you get for the what you shadow.
yes,
You know, because you play with anything where rotten, you go smell your hand.
exactly.
Then constantly they smell the hand, they don't become paranoid schizophrenic.
And
Everybody.
the next thing about them is when they don't reach the office, they don't see the benefits of the office get. It is stop for think. They say, well, I don't reach the maximum. I go there forever. How you call that? Not to self-sabotage?
Yeah, of course.
A self-sabotage.
Because when
you come out to that office day, you come out with respect. You don't create a legacy. We're going to lift you up forever and ever. 90% of the leaders in this part of the world, then they prosper after they don't left the office. Go and find that out. Because once you're in the office, you actions, you work, if they bring to you good people, they get good friends. You understand? When you left, those people will open up opportunities for you where they make you prosper. But when you don't create a bad legacy, if you left the office day, now you sabi what thing for meet you. So now what thing they don't do? Because they don't notice, say they cannot get the wider world to work with them, they don't form a club now. You know, it's in the club of bad legacy? ECOWAS.
Well, ECOWAS is a club for men that keep themselves in power, isn't it? you know, it's so crazy because when you're not a good leader, everything what they do about posterity, about the future, how we go affect the one when they come after you.
Yes.
You know, how you go develop your environment, how you go want for me to remember you as. A bad leader, all the decisions them is about
himself.
You know, make if you notice, you go to any country where you begin to see too much picture of the president in the street. Not a good leader. Because if you get for put you picture the leader, you are useless. Because a good leader, you don't need to see picture for let you know say that good leader. Where you go to the environment, the quality of life, what the people and the lead. You go
Exactly.
You know, you go to the clinic, it clean. You go to hospital, they treat you free.
Water they flow.
Yes, free at the point of
flow.
delivery.
You know they see dirty in a treat.
Exactly. So you don't have to see his pictures. If a leader they come out, they talk about all the things the way he don't do, this, that. He don't do fuck all. Excuse me for me French. Because if you do something, you don't have to say it. People will see it because things you do.
You don't have to tell people who you are.
It is an action word. It is tangible.
You don't have to tell people who you are.
Exactly.
Do two things. Talk and act. When you talk, people listen to you. They make an assessment of who you are. When you act by interacting with people, or if you have a job to do, you do it well, they know who you are. You understand?
Yep.
So we have a problem, but how do we solve this problem? What's in your own take on that? How do we change our society? Now they close up now.
We get for beginning.
We don't keep comping long because this na keep comping will be nepa. And I think say good for the one that would listen.
Yep. My brother, we get for beginning to think about how we go able to give people a self-worth.
Yes.
Self-belief, improve their self-esteem. And one way where you go do that, now that word where you talk and loosely so, where you talk about slavery. Free with people in mind, and one way they free them, then they get a living wage.
Yeah.
When they go,
then they will live with their respect.
With their dignity.
Because when somebody able
to determine
your way of doing things,
the right
word is able to think freely.
Yes, the right word is dignity, not to respect, dignity.
Okay.
They need that dignity. Because now this country what they enjoy so. Now the politicians after the war, things were so bad. What are the things that will be bad in this country? Then be so bad, then so bad, then so bad, my dear brother. Then so bad, then so bad, then so bad. What thing happen? What thing can happen? Then get issues with wants. Then call this man and call Lord Beveridge. He can write a report on how they're going to change the difficulty. This same difficulty, England, we don't get that.
In the world, outside.
Because they develop a country, they develop a country through structural development. That is
nothing not they come up come for them.
No.
Now they say when they make start, think.
Now the social development first.
Yeah. So
Beveridge writes this report. He said people that get want. That is natural in everybody. Everybody get desire for go up. You don't go stop them. And if that wants the day, resources not there, they don't get access to resource, no problem.
No problem.
So now they identify the 5 evils them in the society. Want, squalor, disease, arrogance, ignorance. Ignorance, what's not the last one? Want, squalor, ignorance, disease, and which other one? Hey God.
Anyway, shelter?
I know exactly remember, but these are the things where the man puts together, Sir Beveridge puts together, And when he put them together, you know, it changed. It changed. Yes. Now the 5 giants, now idleness. Now we people get ignorance, disease, squalor, and want. Me malemo to come na junction na. All man they run car with camera, they come again the snap. They not get thing for do.
Yeah.
All these drug problem where they go on, so this that.
Now idleness.
People are despondent.
Mm-hmm.
They're idle.
They say the idle mind is the working of the devil.
Workshop. Yes, it's the devil's workshop. So we get for think all this wonderful thing, and so like this, so like that. Let we try for find a way. Let we create a social system. Get a safety net for we people them. Give them the dignity. When you give person the dignity very quickly.
That can be done if we get a leadership way ready for do that.
Yes. It will improve them.
I say so.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've been investigating. We'll come back and discuss it at another time.
Yeah.
You get for make certain things happen, for make that happen as we country this way.
Mm-hmm.
We get a population of, well, they say 7-point-something million. May not say we less than that.
We way less than that because quite a lot of people have traveled.
The fact about the population is over 55% of the people, they in the employable age. That is between age 15 and age 50. Of this 55%, close to 70% not get the skills where they need. So we need to look at how we can create a safety net for make to provide people with the skills, and not a skill for skill's sake. So when they go teach them carpentry, na armor and nail carpentry. No, we go beyond that.
Beyond that. Because
we give them the skill we go attract investment. And we don't have to put them through the rigors of going to learn English. That man where they and they learn the skill in the Mami language.
Exactly.
Tim the line do am.
Exactly.
So line do am. But at the end of the day, once the person they go through the training, there should be a provision for the person for keeping life going.
Keeping life going, yes.
But we will come and discuss that. Let we not prolong this talk because I see you don't look tired.
Hey, brother, you're so right. Honestly,
you see,
I only wish
we get for begin examine them things here. Not because we want to make as if we know it all. But we need for make people and begin tap into their consciousness for no say. Some of them things here what they do, now then they hold we back.
They hold me back.
Even when it comes by election, the way the people and they think now they determine the outcome of the election.
Yes.
Even the people how they support Madabi, if they say well, now they take you money and invest. To God like Madabi, they run away.
Exactly.
They run away.
Exactly.
So if we reach there, we people I think we are very small, the two of the baddest this evening. Me and my brother.
And
but he look don't burn out.
The other one is that they spend too much time by academia. Just the open university. There's nothing wrong to open university, but
universities, we need training schools.
We need training schools
to give people employable skills.
And then they glad it back. All man get masters. What do you do with your masters?
Whose office were there for employ you with your masters?
Exactly. But the masters,
after the masters, you able to do research?
But we get a lot of agriculturists when as suits that they wear. You know, agriculturists not be drive power tiller. It not be drive a tractor. You call yourself an agriculturist. They cannot use any implement.
We cannot give up. We cannot give up on Sierra Leone.
They do agro engineering. They do plant pathology. If we talk about that plant pathology, they tell us they write the book.
If you do all those things, if you write books, how many people they benefit from them in Sierra Leone?
It's rather, if Salomon talk about the academia, to God, you belay the boil, you the tremble.
You know, we have a lot of problems, but all of these problems come from inside here. And I think people like you and me, when they see out of the box, we have a moral duty to perform. Thank you very much, sir, for this interesting discussion. And I hope we go find time for extend them more. We defend the topics them, we discuss them. We they put them in a simple way, let people then see what you they talk.
Let's get a conversation on this issue.
Let them see, let them understand, say, these are the things we may need to change. Let us try to see how we can change them and see what will be the outcome. Because we cannot be doing the same thing and expect.
And as Koroma was able, whatever you need to say about him, he was able to grasp the, how you call him, he'll be able to grasp the problem, but not get the concept for deal with the issue. That is attitudinal change business where they talk about.
Yeah.
You know, it be really, really get jam. But the delivery not be there. It not be there.
It's a stage by stage issue. Life is a stage by stage. You they grab, you creep, you for them. You grab back, you team up, you for them. Not so.
It catch a phenomenon, but you not be understand the concept very well for making you able to deliver. So we come back to square one.
I believe say we for round up now.
Okay.
If you have any word to say to our people, go ahead, sir. Shoot.
Famulem, plenty, Cabo, Kushe, Tina all. We thankful to God that we brother get this platform here. We would come one time for can get discussions. Hey, we are all ignorant one way or another.
Yeah.
I will talk to somebody the other day for like we understand disability. Then I understand say we all get some kind of disability.
Definitely.
We all get abilities and disabilities. Like me, when you talk about mathematics, I'm totally disabled. Totally disabled. So these are the things that we need for talk. Sometimes it will help with people that for begin to realize this problem here. I never knew about dyslexia until I came here. I never knew what is dyslexia. You know, because that person is a fool. The person not fool. He need alternative learning.
Yeah.
He can thrive educationally than anybody
and
else.
We get people that we get that when are multi-millionaires.
Exactly.
It's what in this man in name we get Virgin Island.
Richard Branson.
Yes. He has that syndrome.
Yes.
But look at him, he's rich.
David Beckham is a stammerer. Serious stammerer. Get a disability with stammering.
Well,
you know, your disability no inhibit your ability because everybody has an ability in them.
Exactly.
Everybody. And it is that ability they use for produce something where somebody else not able to produce. That's what creates business. That's what makes money. If not money,
when you solve a problem, that's when you create wealth.
Exactly. But you turn to doctor, you come in doctor and they try for find treatment to illnesses. You don't know what they give codeine. What was the guy here and codeine? The treatment other person on device, now you steal a device. That's how
you make pepper doctor, they give one injection.
Besides that Creole man, what's in name Davidson Nicol, no other Sierra Leonean doctor not do anything medically where left record like him. And those are the things. You know just the go say in a doctor. When people then come, you tell you give them codeine, you give them paracetamol, you only you make us so it look like you get malaria without even studying the possible pathology. You know. So my brother, me attire. I just
go rest, go
but
rest.
therefore keep doing it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Fumble them
For inviting me.
I think we don't reach the end of today. Keep comping because this na keep comping will be nipper. But I believe say una get the message and una get an idea of who we want, let begin go. A lot of things then they will need for put behind we in Sierra Leone.
Yep.
And move forward. Sierra Leone, now we all get them. We all can make mistakes because we are humans. But that don't mean say we for use impunity by each other.
Mm-hmm.
That we try move away from, you know, that not me, I go do you this, I go do you that. Yeah, we all get weakness, we all get faults.
Now we sabi book passed out a tribe.
We all get faults.
Everybody, we all
But
get
if
vices.
we put aside fear, we put aside hate, we try for improve on with knowledge for avoid ignorance. We begin learn for trust each other. We not go trust ourselves one time. Like me and Imran, it take we time before we use. The first day we meet, na Allah we meet pa.
We fought, we wrestled.
But we able to understand ourselves. Now look we they talk.
The first one with the first are the same thing with the talk,
Yes.
but we talk in different version.
Yes. So do ya on allow sit down in with quiet moment and begin ask yourself certain questions.
Mhm.
That we country where we get some of we know the resource potentials. If we sit down for make that country, it'll be the richest country in Africa. I like it
Yep.
be the richest in the world.
Yep.
So una thank you. Una continue for listen to what you they say. We know they come for can talk politics. We they talk politics, but the politics now the politics of how we go change and develop. Not all the politics for can preach hate. Nobody not perfect. And now they can't discuss people, them they discuss the issues.
Issues.
The issues will not say that they're wrong. And love find way for change them. Una thank you for listening to we. We go come back next week. We go give una notice about.
One last word. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
the man, anytime when you open your mouth, you dey tickle me. I want to tell me people, and before they go, we all get potential.
Yes,
And potential is like a seed.
it is.
If it is not planted, there
You
will
know
be
they
no
grow.
growth. If you get a seed, you put on a cupboard 20 years, it will remain a seed.
Exactly.
We get for begin the use with potentials and what we get. If you know, say you know, able for find out what you know your potential,
Ask.
explore.
Ask. If you're not able to
Push
fend for a way
yourself.
for read, self, if you cannot read, find somebody where they ask.
Yes.
They
Push
explain
yourself.
to you.
Push yourself. Because then tell me something, then say, come here. They change the color them. They show off. Every minute they change. Why it change? Because it just want for show himself say, in a come here. But the art where it did, the art does not have to do the same.
No.
The art not a change for please anybody. The art contains everything that is daring. Mortal man, come here, lion, you know. So he doesn't have to change anything for impress anybody. And now that attitude we all get forget. Forget about the next person when they change color. Forget about that person with a 100-watt bulb. At the end of the day, we push can to shove, the 100-watt bulb, then they all where the bulb don't fuse. It no matter the wattage because they don't know the light.
And the same box and they put to Thank you very much.
Okay, my dear brother.
So we go talk with our people then back next week.
By the grace of God.
Okay,
Thank you.
sir. Have a nice evening.
And you too, me brother.
Right. Too.
we see you come, we all don't gladly we dey tell you cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you can. We must tell you Cabo.
We dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? Make you give we now, because in the morning we dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we? In the morning we make you give we now. From where you left here, where you go, mama? Angry they get we no get nothing for it. Now that make where we see you come, we all know gladly we dey tell you cabo.
Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you come. We must tell you Cabo. Cabo, 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 Cabo. Anytime we see you, where you go you come. We must tell you Cabo.
We dey ask you, mama, wetin you bring for we?